Hey guys, so today I want to talk about comparison. And before you turn off the video thinking, oh, Michael just spoke about this at youth, yes, I did, but I kind of wanted to bring it back so we could kind of look at it a little deeper and really see the message behind comparison. So at youth, I had spoke about how I kind of thought that as people, we kind of do comparison wrong in the sense that it was intended to be something good, but the way that we do it just turns into something so terrible. And so a lot of the times, the way we see comparison is with like new phones, where they show you, oh, look at all of the new specs and all of the new things that this phone can do, how much better it is than the one that you already have. Or when you see people and the way that they dress, and you're like, oh man, this person is so popular. Look at the way that they dress, and look at the way that I'm dressed. How do I compare to them? And so even biblically, we see that comparison goes all the way back to Genesis. And so we look in Genesis and we see Eve and Satan. And so this whole interaction kind of just goes to show our desire for comparison. So the snake, the devil, presents this offer to Eve that would give her something that she didn't have already. And so she looks at herself and she says, oh wow, I could be better. Let me bite the fruit. And so this is sort of this bad sort of comparison. Obviously there's other factors that come into the equation, but part of it is comparison. And so we can even look a little further if we go into Genesis 4, right at the beginning of the chapter. It shows Adam and Eve having two children, Cain and Abel. And so Cain was in charge of the fields and Abel was in charge of the flocks. And so, both of them are working both of their jobs, and they decide, okay, let's bring a sacrifice to God. And so Cain brings like fruit and things from the field, but Abel, he brings the first of the flock. He brings the fattiest part of the animal. And when God looks at both of the sacrifices, he says, "Wow, Abel's is so much better." Which then it makes like these two different scenarios that can now pop out, where Cain had a choice. He could either look at the mistake that he made and could have said, okay, you know what? Next time I'm going to be more honorable and I'm going to bring a better sacrifice. Or he could have done what he did, which was kill his brother. And so the bad type of comparison leads to those kind of actions where our heart becomes corrupt. It gets filled with jealousy and envy, but that's not what comparison was intended to be. So if we actually look into 1 Corinthians 11:1, it says, "Be imitators of me as I am of Christ." And then if we look at Philippians 3:17, it says, "Brothers, join in imitating me and keep your eyes on those who walk according to the example you have in us." And so if we look at these verses, now it's telling us that we should compare. But this comparison is different in the sense that you want to look at people who are followers of Jesus, who live their life righteously, and you look at the good things that they do, and you say, okay, these are things that I could be doing in my life that I'm not doing, and these are things that I could do better, so I can be a better follower of Christ. Like if Cain had looked at his brother Abel and looked at the good things that he had done, it could have changed the whole story. And so comparison is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the way that we do it that matters. And Jesus sets the best example of the type of behavior that we should have. And our life is a constant comparison to who he is. And so at the end of the day, the thing that matters most though is the choices that you decide to make. And so if we look at Galatians 6:4-5, it says, "But let each one test his own work, and then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in his neighbor, for each will have to bear his own load." And so if you look at these passages and you put it all together, Like, yes, comparison can be a good thing, but it's really in the way that you do it that matters. And so all I'm trying to say is be careful in the way that you compare yourself, but definitely do look for good role models in your life and people that you can see the qualities of Jesus in. But first and foremost, look at the word and always try to discern your intentions behind what you're comparing. So the challenge this week is to find 3 qualities from characters in the Bible that you would want to model. See you next time.